Should I use an accent the whole show?
Oh my god, I would kill you. Okay, Ashley. Oh my god. Okay, let's start over. Okay, Ashley, what's up?
You're the director.
Okay, Ashley. Hi.
How many times are you gonna do that?
That was literally like 2 minutes of just like me going, Ashley.
Why are you so nervous?
I'm not. I'm just like, I'm not used to this environment. Like, I feel like I'm the guest. It's like your home.
My home is your home.
Mi casa es tu casa.
Yeah.
Well, Ashley, we're back in beautiful San Francisco. In, where is this? Russian Hill?
Yeah, we are.
Russian Hill. Let's just start. Okay. Like, what is your job? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, I'm the CEO and founder of Radical. We make custom bras right from your phone in under 2 minutes.
2 minutes, wow.
Yeah, so...
That's so quick.
Yeah, so we have a phone app. You take a scan, you turn 360 in front of your phone screen. And then afterwards, we custom design, and then we built a machine that actually custom manufactures these bras to be fit to your body. And so they're these high quality. Our first ever drop is the wireless everyday bra. So it's meant to be very comfortable and supportive, and also well fitting because it is custom made for you.
Yeah.
And then we just deliver it straight to your doorstep.
Wow. So, you know, we'll get into kind of how it started and stuff, but what do you, I guess, do on a day-to-day then? Like right now, I'm sure it's all encompassing.
It's really, yeah. I love that question because there is really no day-to-day. And I think there's really no like week to week too, and it keeps the job really exciting. Yeah. Right now, we just released our app on TestFlight, which is Apple's beta testing platform.
Yeah.
So a lot of it has been figuring out how to market that app, notifying people who've been alpha testers for us and who have attended parties of ours in the past, and just getting people excited. So this week, you know, marketing is a big forefront of mine. Next week it could be something different, but
wow, yeah. Like you were in like R&D or whatever, like actually making the product, and then like the technology and the app and everything. But like once that's done, you're doing marketing because obviously you want to promote it.
Yeah.
And it's like so much. And now you're like, once people start buying them, like distribution,
right,
and like
customer service, like
customer service, Ashley.
But things like that are really, but those things are really important because it also, you know, product dev is very important to us, and especially to me, I've been very keen on making something that's inclusive because I mean that's the whole point of doing a custom product in the first place, is we want it to be truly inclusive of anyone who needs a bra or wants a bra. And when you speak to actual customers, especially those who are dissatisfied, you learn so much, and you really just can't get those insights anywhere else than like from people. Right. So I don't know. Sometimes I do enjoy being kind of like touching some grass. Yeah. And I'm like, you're right. Like that is confusing, and I think having the outside perspective is just, it's invaluable, and so I'm grateful to people.
So should I just like put on one and give you my criticism and you'd be like, yeah.
I mean, you know,
you're being inclusive, right?
I mean, honestly, like, if there's someone else, and we also, I try not to use gendered pronouns,
right?
Like for anyone who wants a bra, you know, because that's also a part of the industry that's not really that talked about. Is it's not just people who use she, her, hers pronouns that are buying bras.
Yeah.
But I mean, I identify as she, her, hers, and I go to the store and I don't want to try on bras. So for someone who has that additional, you know, aspect of their character, like I couldn't imagine what it's like.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like maybe others can feel differently, but I'm sure, and I have heard from certain people that it's not a comfortable experience to be going into the fitting room.
Wow.
And so for those folks and for people who can relate to them, I hope Radical's helpful. So.
Right, nice. Kind of backtracking, I guess, to like the beginning of Radical, and like I usually ask like, oh, how'd you get your job? But you didn't like interview for this position. Obviously, like you started this company yourself. So how did you start Radical?
How did I start? Gosh, that's a really complicated question because
that's super vague.
No, I mean, there's a lot of points of inspiration for starting Radical, but I think one of the big ones is that Actually, it's just I came out of COVID and I was going to in-person work for the first time. And
At a different company?
at my previous job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I put on a bra for the first time in what must have been like 2 years since I'd been in person.
Oh, because you just never did in COVID? Oh,
Yeah.
wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, put one on and I was like, wow, this really makes me feel bad about myself. It didn't fit me at all, and I had to put on these work sweaters on top. I was going to the office, I was constantly pulling things down, and I was like, I can't believe I'm cool with this. Like, I can't believe this is something that I used to do pre-COVID.
It's for 22 whatever years of your life, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so I went on this journey to try and find a bra that fit me. And me and my friend and I, we ordered 50 bras over a couple of months. So it was like, order a bra, it would come in, I would try it on, it wouldn't fit. Order another bra, it would come in, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And I was following all these guidelines, and there's so many guides online of like, this is how you put on a bra, and you're supposed to use this technique and whatever. And I was like, I don't know what my size is, but none of these bras are fitting me. And I feel so bad. Like, I just feel terrible. And that led to over 200 conversations, including like a very widespread bra survey that I sent out of just all these women and all these people coming to me and saying their own reasons for hating their bras, hating the bra fitting experience. End to end, there was just so many issues. And it made me realize that in order to address all those issues in the best way, we ought to make custom bras.
Yeah.
So
Do it yourself.
yeah, so I ultimately was inspired by the idea of like, it should be easy to put on a basic undergarment that feels good and that's high quality. Like, imagine if you put so much thought into your day to put on a pair of socks or your underwear.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm never like,
imagine you're like constantly adjusting your socks or like, and you're like spinning them around and like then like they're randomly tearing and then now that sock is no longer available and you need to get a different, like, come on, like that just shouldn't be the experience. And yeah, I mean, it like studies show time and time again that 8 in 10 women or something like this have that experience. And
yeah, never even knew about that, but wow.
I mean, like the bra fitting issue is pervasive. It's recognized by companies everywhere, by people everywhere, by women everywhere. And there hasn't been, in my opinion, really much to actually push the envelope.
Right.
So to speak.
Hey, wow.
So to speak. And
look at you.
I mean, I'm lucky to work on that and with people who feel the same way as me and who are also passionate about this.
So I guess let's touch on like, because you weren't always doing bra sales or like, in a different company before. So what was your previous job? Like, did you know how to like run a company and like market and like something like that? Like, did you study that in college? Like,
I worked in marketing throughout the time I was in college. I worked at startups at the same time as I was in school. So I was working anywhere from 20 to 30 hours a week, and I was a student. And so I'd worked in marketing for a while. By the time my last job, I was doing content marketing at an education nonprofit. So marketing-wise, had experience, but it's very, very different marketing bras than it is
I'm sure.
to market ed tech products. And also a lot of my experience in the past was also B2B. B2B and B2C are very different.
Totally. Yeah.
I think D2C is way more fun, but it's also way more challenging.
Yeah, because you have to like convince the masses essentially.
Yeah, but also I think it gets down to like, ultimately people just want good experiences, and I think there's a lot of humanization of the product and like of touching grass and being like, okay, I have the luxury of also being a target customer of mine, like I'm part of my target audience. So what do I want? Like, what do I want from a brand? What makes me feel heard? What makes me feel seen? And if we can reflect that in the product and marketing just throughout the company, then that's really the dream ultimately. And we never want to stray too far from that.
I see. Okay, so you had some, I guess, you knew the startup culture and the mindset of starting a company.
Yeah, but I will say it's very different being the one to actually start.
Right, yeah.
Very different.
So obviously it was daunting to like that idea.
Yeah.
What do you think for someone who has a different idea, maybe not bras, but something that they're passionate about and they want to start a company, but you know, they're right out of college, just like you were. Like, what do you recommend that they do to like kind of be closer to succeed and then kind of just jumping into it?
I would say evaluate why you're starting it first, because there are a lot of bumps in the road. And if you don't have that grounding reason, it's very hard to continue to move forward.
Right.
That's the first piece of advice I would give. The second one is listen openly, but heed only what you want to. There will be a lot of dissenting opinions coming your way. Some people think Radical should be run this way. Some people should think Radical should be run that way. Those are all valid opinions in and of their own right. Which ones you choose to listen to needs to be anchored in what you think your company's direction should be. And ultimately, you just have to trust your gut sometimes. And trusting your gut doesn't necessarily, to me at least, mean that you're always right, but rather that you have the conviction to be accountable for whether you're right or wrong. It's definitely not easy, and
definitely not.
I have spoken to a lot of founders who are much more experienced and further into this than I am. And I think that perspective is very helpful, because for them, they're like, I remember when I was in the thick of it the way you were. And it's helpful to think of it as like a long-term thing, because some of the things that feel very heavy right now, and as most things in life, some of the things that feel very heavy right now will feel insignificant. Or much
it's like high school.
But it's prep work. It gets you to the point, right? Like if you didn't go through those things in high school, then what you went through college would have been much more difficult, and in your job now and beyond. So like cherish the lessons that you get to learn now on this smaller scale, and I don't know, like it'll make it.
Do you think the decisions, you know, you're making now and the marketing you're doing and all that, like, do you think having that experience beforehand that you had in college and, you know, before you started this helped you a lot, or do you think it's a totally different piece?
Yeah, I would say it did. And I think it taught me what I wanted to and what I did not want to do. And I think being true to the why of the company, marketing is just, you know, a projector or projection of what you're working on internally, or that's at least what it should be. So if you feel a cognitive dissonance between what you're actually doing versus what you're marketing, then that's a much larger problem. So I never want to market anything that doesn't feel authentic to where we're at. That's
and you
a really
had
hard.
that experience in the past a little bit.
I wouldn't say necessarily bad, but sometimes, you know, it's completely understandable that especially larger companies need to set certain metrics of success. Remember that those numbers represent something bigger than that, and I think it's very easy to lose focus on that because you're just thinking, oh, like, have I hit that number yet?
Especially if you're like very much in a department, like, you know, because right now you're overseeing everything, so you get to kind of like
but it's a balance of both. You know? Like it's like, okay, we hit sales, great, but for that to have meaning, like, what do those sales actually mean? What those look like?
Where'd you go to again? Oh, you went to Berkeley, right?
Yeah, I went to UC Berkeley, and pretty much out the gate, I think it was my first semester in college, I just got a job at a startup, like right away.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I was very lucky. I grew up in an environment where I was surrounded by startups and startup people.
Right.
And they were like, you know, we want an extra helping hand. Like, if you're willing to do whatever to help out, like, come.
Right.
And I would just do anything they needed, like anything to just be in that environment. Like, I would assemble these like microcomputers called Raspberry Pis. I would copyright brochures. I would file patents. Like, I would do such a variety.
Wow, that's crazy. You used to file patents in your first year.
Like provisional, like the early stages. Like, I would write technical descriptions and like, you know, structure things or whatever. And it was that breadth of experience, not necessarily the depth of it, which I think I lacked in a lot of ways, but to be able to contribute in so many different ways, that was always very exciting to me. And it's something that is still very exciting to me in my job now. So
Right. So because I always tell, you know, college students especially, like, you know, just get some sort of experience, like internship or anything, because like even if you hated filing patents, like now you know you don't like filing patents. You know, it's like it gives you something, because like school's so important, obviously, like keep your grades up, but But like it's like, you know, there's a limit to what you get at college, and
Yeah.
you know, you learn so much about yourself, and you know, it's very important to go to college, but I feel like real world, like I feel like a lot of people even around us had issues with like they graduated and they had no idea what they wanted to do because like all they had done was go to college and they had interests, but like
Yeah.
they had never done an internship before. They were never in that
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
So how could they know they like, you know?
No, I definitely feel like, yeah, college for me was really interesting because I was exposed to so many different environments.
Yeah.
Like I think I moved 11 or 12 times in the time that I was in college. And so I was
really like moved like physically
like picked up my stuff, packed it, and like
Oh my
moved
God.
to a new residence. I don't know. I
Jeez.
don't remember why I moved so many times, but
didn't get along with your roommate.
I think I had like bed bugs once, and then
Is this up?
I really enjoyed being exposed to so many things. And I think for me, I was very lucky to get to experience college as like this place where I could learn in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And so many exposure to so many different friends. I lived in an international house when I was in college. And
Oh,
met people from all around the world.
that's awesome.
And then would go to class and like learn about psychology all day, and then I would walk the mile to the startup incubator and like
Right.
learn like whatever it was that they needed me to do. Like I was Googling all the time. And I think, yeah, I mean, I'm very grateful to have had a breadth of experiences, and I think that's the thing that like I really miss the most about college.
Yeah.
Learning
For
is,
sure.
you don't even have to like reach, it's just there.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, and you can just kind of learn so openly. At least that was my experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like hesitant to say it a little bit because like I don't know, I was very much lucky enough to not have to worry about like my rent.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, because I knew a lot of people in college who literally just had to work like
Yeah.
40 hours to like get by, and like luckily for me, like I grew up where didn't have to like think about that, so I could actually kind of just like put my focuses to like trying to get an internship, or like even if I worked just a random job, like that was like money for me to spend. So like I was lucky enough to do that, but in a sense I had that privilege. Well, let's pull out these bras, shall we?
On that note.
Well, because we were talking about bras.
About radical bras.
Oh, they're so comfortable. So these are the custom made bras. This is the first version, you said, right?
This isn't the first, this is the final version.
Oh, the final version.
Yeah. So we went through a couple of iterations of it.
These definitely won't fit me.
Yeah, no, those ones aren't custom. The one I'm wearing right now, which I won't show, but
Nope, you have to.
the one I'm wearing right now is custom to me. That one's just to show off the design.
So when you're like, I don't feel, like, is that because it's like loose, or is it because it's too tight and not supporting?
All of the above.
curious.
I mean,
Really?
like you could have smaller cups and a bigger band, or vice versa, or any combination. Those are things that like I don't think are super addressed or very accessible, at least in my situation. Like I have a certain size breast that's not proportional with my
Like the rest
with my
of your body.
with my torso, yeah, or with my underbust.
Underbust. I don't know why that just sounds like underbust.
That I feel like that's like the funnest reaction to the word underbust I've gotten.
Like Captain Underbust.
But it's true. It's like
that cartoon, like Captain
Captain
Underpants.
Underpants. Sorry, what were we talking about?
I don't know. What's the envelope you think you're pushing, like that?
The envelope I'm pushing in fashion. I mean, it's inclusivity. It's size inclusivity. I think that's the envelope that we're pushing.
Specifically right now for bras, but do you think that applies to like all clothes, you think?
Yeah. Like my dream is sizeless fashion. My dream is that you go to the store and everything is made for you, and
Yeah.
my hope is that fashion can be fun for people.
Right.
For everyday people, and there's no panic or anxiety, because that's something that I feel a lot of the times. I talk about this quite a bit, but like I do have an eating disorder and it comes in waves, but clothing shopping is just like not fun for me, and it's not fun for a lot of people for a variety of reasons. But it should be. Like it's a form of expression, and you shouldn't be thinking about how well something is fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
But I honestly didn't know that. But I don't know if you told me that.
About my eating disorder?
Yeah.
I think I've been talking about it a little bit more recently. It's something I had a lot of shame about for a while, and also felt like because I hid it so well, even for myself sometimes, like I'd almost, I don't want to use the word gaslight because I don't really think I know how to use it properly, but like
Yeah, no, I know what you mean though. Yeah.
but I would like convince myself like I didn't have one. But starting Radical, and I think trying on all those bras was really, really tough for me and for my sense of body image.
Yeah.
Like as Radical's first customer, getting a bra that has no sizing on it, and that's just made for me, and I don't have to like look away to not see the size or whatever, or like cut the tag immediately. It's like that was something that filled me with relief. Like I felt alleviated, you know, and that's something that every morning I put on a bra willingly. Like it's something that's neutral. I'm like,
that's so interesting. But yeah, I mean, I guess I'm curious, like, well, I was about to ask, like, how are you gonna actually push that envelope? You already are, low-key.
Am I? Like, yeah, I mean...
Well, I mean, you are. It maybe specifically for bras, right?
I think we're just getting started. Like, and I think that's...
Well, it's not a overnight process. Yeah, I mean, who knows if the show will help anything. But like...
I think if it helps one person, it's meaningful enough to do.
Oh, that's sweet.
I mean, that's how I genuinely feel. Like, I think with Radical, sometimes when I'm feeling self-doubt, which is kind of often, for just one person to tell me like this is something meaningful to me, it's really encouraging.
Yeah.
Like, and I think or at least I hope that someone's listening to the show and it's like, thanks, Kazu, for like bringing that to life.
Yeah. I mean, even if like it makes you feel better, I feel that's enough.
I like that. Yeah.
Like the fact that I did this and like nothing might come out of it, or like
I got bras that fit me.
Like, yeah, exactly. That's all you need. And you know, maybe you give to one friend and they love it so too. But like,
yeah.
I feel like that's enough, right? But
yeah.
Why do you think it's like been so hard for like size inclusivity to like take effect? Because I'm sure you're not the only one who's thought about this.
No.
And it hasn't happened, obviously.
I think one of the big things is bra sizing, if you're not in the industry, is very confusing.
Yeah.
There's a common misconception that a 32A is the smallest size, which, if you know anything about bras, doesn't actually mean anything, and the letters and numbers in isolation don't necessarily mean anything either. So it's kind of a bunch of garble. Then different...
Garble.
I mean, but different companies have different standards for what their bra size is. There's just so many different variables in it. Yeah. And on the one hand, that's great because people have options. But, I mean, there's only one size that's meant for you.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be trying on a bunch of bras because you're not sure that they're the right size. You know, I mentioned this earlier, the 8 and 10 stat. There's a stat that was first reported in 1998 that 8 and 10 women don't have a bra that fits. I mean, 8 and 10, that's a 1 out of 5 stars rating. Like, imagine a product having a 1 5-star rating, and then for 25 years, everyone's like, okay, cool. Like,
I mean, it shows a lot about society, low-key.
Yeah, you're like, okay, well, what's a girl to do? Like, I guess, or what's a person to do? Like, it sucks. Oh, well.
But it's like, I think it's so great because like whoever's watching too, like I didn't know that bras didn't fit like that, right? Like I had no idea, and it's not like I was like, I don't care about bras. Like I don't care that you don't fit in them. Like I literally didn't know. So like even just like knowing that, like, and as far as like a traditional he, him man to be like, oh shit, I didn't know, like changes everything. So
yeah, I mean,
I'm glad you're here. Radically change the world.
I mean, that's the idea. Like the idea is like it's an act of radical self-love to say like I deserve to not settle for a bra I don't love.
There you go.
Never seen anyone hold the bra that way.
It's like, what do you mean? How like else would you hold it?
No, you're holding it like it's like a worm that you're like, ew.
How else would you hold it, like this?
I guess. I don't know actually how I would.
Like, how do you hold your bras?
I don't really hold them, I guess. When you put them on.
You don't hold them?
Well, you slip it through your arms. Kind of like a vest. Like think of it like
this?
Yeah. So you do that. Put it over you bend down like 45 degrees maybe, and you hook it. It should hook in the middle of your back.
I thought you said it was custom. I did the app and everything. It's not fitting me. I'm gonna file a customer complaint. Ring, 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 ring.
Oh wait, sorry. Let me pause the interview. I'm getting a call.
Are you actually? Oh. Hello, is this Radical customer service?
Oh, sorry, busy.
Oh.
Busy.
Busy?
Busy.
Wow, this is the worst customer service.
It's pretty accurate, I feel like. So that's my
Oh, the trash.
Burn it.
Awesome. Well, hopefully that doesn't reflect your actual customer service.
No, that's pretty much it, I would say, actually.
The customer service experience?
Yeah, or like, screw you. Why are you laughing?
I was like, wait, what?